Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's K-Rod here. I'm back with another good video for today. I want to talk about Mr. Janelson, Figueroa, Boca Chica. Um, this is a pretty good, how should I say, topic to discuss. And
Something.
I think everything that you see out of Janelson, he kind of shows a lot of improvements, and he basically proves that every fight you test yourself with the better competition, you end up becoming the more, well decorated fighter. And as much as people do like to say styles make fights, I think better fights makes a better fighter. That's just like my own type of saying when it comes to any sport. Better competition makes you the better athlete because for me myself, for those of you that don't know, I used to wrestle in high school, and I went 27-3. If you add in tournaments and losses, or tournament wins and losses out of that, that probably would have made me at least 40-6. I want to say. I'm just giving a wild guess because I really don't remember how many matches I had in tournaments, but I did pretty good as far as like a wrestling season goes, because a wrestling season is like about 10 to 20 matches a year. So I want to say it was 20 matches. I'm not too sure. But if you count that as far as just regular wrestling season matches, I want to say that's about it has to be, yeah, it had to been 20 at least, yeah, at least 10 to 15. I'm not too sure, but basically, out of my matches alone, I never told my coach I want to duck this guy. I don't want to be in this tournament, which I mean, coaches put you in tournaments if they feel like that you're ready for one. But what I'm trying to say is that for boxing and wrestling are semi-related. They're like cousins in a way, and when you look at competition being bred out of boxing, it's a lot more different than it is in wrestling, because wrestling, they put you up against anybody regardless of the style. Boxing, it's more conclusive. It's more conclusive, and it's more complex, where a fighter doesn't know who they're gonna fight until they get inside the ring, but it shouldn't have to be that. It should be up to the promoters or the matchmakers deciding what a fighter's, next fight is going to be, or even let the trainer, because I think a fighter should fight anybody who they want, but they have to fight the best if they're going to be fighting for a world title. That's just me, of course, because if the UFC has the best fighting the best every single day, every single night, and every single weekend, so why can't the sport of boxing have it? And that is the problem that I have with boxing. Boxing is such a, racially divided sport, where if you got these white boy fighters fighting on PBC or whatever, like low tier network versus high tier network, you could see that, some of these white fighters, I'm not trying to bring race into the conversation, but when you see white fighters fight, a good number of them don't fight good competition. Why? Because they don't want to be exposed by the black fighters. And not to say that white people can't box, but a good number of white fighters globally are not that good fighters, or not that good of a fighter themselves. But when it comes to black fighters, like black American boxers, those guys tend to have more of a higher scaling when it comes to fighting. Like 9 times out of 10. And then you got, Latino fighters that are really good, like Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Cubans, maybe Argentinians, the list goes on and on. But what I'm trying to say is that when styles make fights, styles makes fights for the better competition. And for this fight, this is a really good fight. I actually do like, Shinard Bunch. He's a pretty decent fighter himself. Not the best fighter in the world. I think he still has a lot of growing to do. I mean, he's only 20 years old, at a 15-1 record, and I believe he has 13 KOs. So that's pretty impressive. I've never ran into a young fighter like that that, does something that crazy to, come into let the pros that early, which I mean, it's nothing new, like we've seen this out of many fighters back in the day. But it's good that Shinard, he is young, he's hungry, and I think him and Janelson are gonna have a really good fight. Do I think Shinard's going to last against Janelson? The answer is no. I don't think Janelson is going to let this kid outbox him, because I mean Shinard, he does have good footwork, and he is very, very how should I say, technical off his jabs. But do I think he has the power to handle Janelson? Even though I don't think Shinard is like the best puncher in the world, I do think Janelson is just going to dog walk him, and he's going to give Shinard a lot of issues on the inside. And I think on the outside, Shinard, he'll probably give Janelson that disadvantage, because Shinard, he's way quicker on his feet, and it will be interesting to see how Shinard is going to keep Janelson away from him. Knowing that Janelson will technically become the bigger guy, because he's a very big welterweight. So it'll be very interesting to see what Shinard is going to do to a guy like Janelson, because I don't think Shinard is going to handle this kid. It seems like he's not the type of fighter to actually fight, a lot on the inside. And, that's pretty normal for naturally gifted outside fighters. Even for guys like Devin Haney, I kind of feel like Devin Haney, he's not like the type of fighter to take a lot of blows to the inside, but I think as Devin, as he gets stronger into his man strength, he'll definitely become a bigger threat in the future. But I'd say for now, that's kind of like the same thing for Shinard. Do I think Shinard has how should I say, do I think Shinard has the better IQ ring wise to handle Janelson? That's more of like a 55-45 split. I think Janelson, he has a good clue of knowing how to break fighters down, and I think once he catches you, it's like lights out for you. And I think if Shinard, if he doesn't come up with any backup plan, if he gets clipped, because I could easily see Janelson stopping him easily if Janelson gets his way with hitting Shinard to the jab or to the body. I think that's what's going to slow Shinard down. And then, it's going to be a really difficult fight for Shinard. But I don't know. I think a lot of things to come in boxing is definitely going to be shocking, and I wouldn't be surprised if Janelson takes this kid out, because Janelson, he's a big puncher. There's no doubt about it. He knows how to slice people down and give people the hands whenever it's needed, and when he sees opportunities, he's going to come at you. So I give nothing but credit to Janelson. I think it is a good fight. This fight will be aired on Showbox on Showtime Friday night, I believe, like around 9 p.m. Not too sure, but good enough that there's a crowd. I think it's all the way out in Nebraska or some shit like that. So we already know who is out there that's probably going to see that fight. Mr. Bud Crawford. Mr. Terrence Crawford will probably be in attendance. That will be interesting to see. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Anything else that I didn't say, I'll probably cover it in the next video. But I'm definitely going to post my other video that I'm going to be making after this one. I'm going to talk about the Sean Porter, Terrence Crawford mandatory situation, as the WBO just recently ordered Sean Porter to become Crawford's mandatory. So yeah, I can't wait, man. Some really big news into boxing. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys for watching, and yeah, this is Kieran Rodriguez signing out, and thank you guys. Thank you. See y'all. Bye.